Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel. On this episode, we're continuing on the series with the best batteries, and on that series, we're looking at AA batteries, right? So this is the second episode in the series, and we're looking at AA batteries because AA batteries seem to be a commodity, and they're used in almost everything, it seems like, right? Kids' toys, remotes, lights, knickknacks, especially around Christmas time. You know, AA batteries are probably going to go pretty hot because all those toys are going to be powered by AA batteries, right? So in this episode, we picked up a few from our Energizer brands because that's the ones we're going to look at today. We picked up the Energizer Max AA battery and the Energizer Ultimate Lithium AA battery, right? So we did pick these up locally from our local stores, authorized retailers. We're assuming, you know, brands like Target or Home Depot and places like that is where we picked them up, right? So we're going to go ahead and see how well they really stack up against the other batteries we've tested so far, right? There is a lot of hype around the Energizer lithium batteries because they are lithium-based chemistry, right? Which allegedly has a lot more power, right? But because of that, they also cost more. So the question is it really worth the extra? Well, that's exactly what we're here to find out. So if you want to know more about this and how it stands up against other batteries we've tested so far, stick with us. Here's the Energizer Ultimate Lithium. We're going to put it here in slot 1. We're going to set it to discharge, enter, 100 milliamp per hour, enter. That's the rate that we will discharge that battery. We'll go ahead and get this Energizer Max, put it in slot 2. Go to slot 2, discharge, enter, discharge rate 100 milliamp hours per hour, enter. Gonna go ahead and get this Energizer Ultimate Lithium into slot 2 or 3. We're going to go to mode discharge, discharge rate 200 milliamps per hour, hit enter, it'll start discharging this Energizer Max battery, put it in slot 4. Go to discharge, enter, 200 milliamps per hour. All right, so the discharge test is done. Let's go take a look at the results. First one, 3,228 milliamp hours, took 1,990 minutes. The second one, which is the Energizer Max slot 2, 2,452 milliamp hours, and it took 1,468 minutes. Slot 3, the Energizer Lithium Ultimate Max, which is the 3,200 something, took 979 minutes. 3,270 milliamp hours, and Energizer Max 2,181 milliamp hours and 653 minutes, right? So 1 and 2 was at the 100 milliamp per hour discharge rate, and 3 and 4 were on the 200 milliamps per hour discharge rate. Let's go take a look at the numbers on paper. So looking at the leaderboard, let's go take a look at the numbers, right? The Energizer Max at 100 milliamp per hour discharge rate had a capacity of 2,452 milliamp hours, right? And it took 1,468 minutes to discharge that battery, right? The same battery at the 200 milliamp per hour discharge rate had a capacity of 2,181 milliamps discharge and took a time of 653 minutes. All right, moving on to the Energizer Ultimate Lithium battery. So with the 100 milliamp per hour discharge rate, it discharged a total capacity of 3,328 milliamp hours, and it took 1,990 minutes. So looking at the double the discharge rate, which is a 200 milliamp discharge rate, had a capacity of 3,279 milliamp hours, and it took a total time of 979 minutes, right? So let's go take a look at leaderboard and see how they stack up, right? So the Energizer Max battery at the 100 milliamp per amp hour discharge rate actually takes first place on the leaderboard because it beats out the Kirkland and the Duracell. The Energizer Max at the 200 milliamp discharge rate also takes first place in the 200 milliamp section, right? Because it beats out the Kirkland and the Duracell with the 2,181, just barely beating out the Kirkland batteries, right? So The lithium batteries at the 100 milliamp discharge rate had a total capacity of 3,328 milliamp hours. And so that takes absolutely first place on the leaderboard. Obviously followed up by the 200 milliamp discharge rate, which is 3,279 milliamp hours, right? Takes second place on the leaderboard that way. I think in the future, we'll probably break it up into maybe, maybe a different leaderboard for 100 milliamp hours versus the 200 milliamp hours. The reason we're testing it that way is really to figure out, does it make much of a difference if you discharge at a higher rate, obviously, in terms of the battery chemistry and its capacity, right? The obvious part being, obviously, it will, discharge faster, but is there a difference in terms of milliamps discharge by discharging at a higher rate, right? But so we may have to break that one out to its own leaderboard to, keep it less confusing. But anyways, what can we say about these batteries, right? So if you're trying to figure out, does the Energizer last longer than the Duracell? The general answer, I think, so far seems to be yes, but not by a whole bunch, right? Not by a large margin. It is, obviously by a decent margin, but not a large margin. They are very close to at least the Costco Kirkland brand batteries. So, those pretty much go neck and neck. But let's go take a look at the cost. So we picked the Energizer Max batteries up, I believe, at our local Home Depot. I think we even took a picture of it. And they come out to about 61 cents per battery, right? The Costco brand AA batteries cost about 33 cents per battery and are almost neck and neck with that. So if we're going to answer the question, would we go out and buy these again? If you're not near a Costco, then the answer is probably going to be yes, right? Because, you can't really get the Kirkland batteries, so you're going to have to get the next best thing, and that will probably be the Energizer Max batteries, right? But if you go to Costco all the time, the answer seems to be get the Costco Kirkland batteries, right? For almost half the cost. So the answer on the lithium batteries, would we go out and buy those again? So the lithium batteries, depending on which configuration you buy them in, larger pack or small pack, they'll come out to between somewhere around $250 to even $350, right? So I believe the ones that we picked up were at Target and it came out to about $250 per pack, but I'm assuming if you buy in bulk, you could probably get them for a little bit less, right? So $2.50 per battery, but it's not like you're gonna get 8 times the performance of or they're about 8 times the performance of, let's say a standard alkaline battery, but, you may not want to go out and change those batteries all the time, right? So if you're using things like Blink security cameras, which a lot of people do, it tells you have to use these lithium batteries so they'll last, 2 years or 1 year, 6 months or whatever it is, right? Because if you put the alkaline batteries in there, you're probably going to be changing them out every other day or every week or whatever it may be, right? So there are situations you want to use a lithium battery, like I said, in a trail camera that you rarely ever want to go out to, right? Maybe sometimes, then you probably want to use those. But the AA batteries seem to be the best bang for the buck, mainly because these batteries came out to $250, like I said, each, whereas these batteries here came out to 61 cents each, right? So you're going to have to figure out what actually works for you. But if you're going on an expedition or something like that, then you're probably going to have to say you probably want the best because you can't carry a ton of batteries with you. That may be where the lithium batteries may come in handy, right? So just keep that in mind. A few things to also keep in mind here is that some people may run tests or figure out, you may use one battery versus the other, and they may not last as long, right? So what we did here is a controlled discharge test, right? We discharge at a constant rate per the whole time. If you put, the lithium batteries, let's say in a unregulated device, let's say like a battery-powered fan without a regulator circuit, the fan will probably spin faster using the Ultimate Lithium batteries because it's actually providing more juice. There's no control circuit regulator to regulate. They need this fan to spin at, let's say, 100 RPMs or whatever it may be, right? So if it was a controlled circuit spinning at 100 RPMs, then this will last longer. But if it's an uncontrolled circuit and it's just providing all the juice possible, the fan will spin faster, but will probably last less on the lithium battery is going to be my guess. Anyways, I'll stop jibber jabbering. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If you have any questions, let us know. Otherwise, have a great day. Get back to work, and we'll see you guys next time.